I suppose most of you have either taken a cruise or thought that you might like to take a cruise, and there's no doubt that these days it's a preferred holiday. But the history behind how it is now is quite a complicated story. Now, going back to the early 70s, P&O almost had a monopoly on liner voyage and a spot of cruising thrown in, but cruising wasn't a big deal. People even then were starting to take their holidays, jumping on an airplane and going somewhere. Now P&O, long established, good company, stored up, had a problem. They were led by the most stupid people under the sun in London. I don't know, I can't remember if it was the Arcadia or the Oriana, was returning to the UK after a series of cruises in Australia. And when they were, I think they had been through Panama or coming up the other side, I'm not quite sure. They spotted a ship called the Mardi Gras with a strange funnel. Didn't know those markings, but it turned out to be the first of the Carnival ships. And they had a great chuckle about this ship. It was small, it was the ex-Canadian Royal Mail ship, Empress of Canada. And as they went by, they had a little chuckle into their hands. One-off start-up cruise line, can be wiped out in a second. And that was the attitude for quite some while. The so-called directors in London, who not one of them had any experience of the sea, totally ignored it. They were almost knowing that things had to change, but they still viewed ships, or the passenger ships, as somewhere they went down with friends for lunch when they were alongside. Their decision making was the same as a hung parliament, probably even worse, because even if they all agreed on everything, they would all agree on nothing. Anyway, they did decide to make a move. I'm not quite sure the year, it'll be around 73. They thought they would expand the fleet berths down here in Australia, because the Arcadia and the Oriana, when they were here, they kept P&O afloat with the profits they made. They weren't making any profits anywhere else. Well, they hardly had any ships left. Funny times. Anyway, they decided to have a look around and see what was on the market that they could buy and do up. And they tripped over a ship called the Sea Venture. It was just under 20,000 tonnes, I believe. And they thought this would be a real whizzy